The Rich Prince and the Poor Tailor. Deep within the bustling lower quarters of the coastal kingdom, 19-year-old Julian worked until his fingers ached. The tailor shop was small and smelled of old wool and lavender mist, but it was Julian's entire world. Every stitch he made was a quiet wish for a brighter, easier future for his aging master and himself. High above the village, Prince Arthur stared out at the smoking chimneys of the town. To the world, he had everything a young man could ever desire. Yet, inside the cold marble walls of the palace, Arthur felt like a bird trapped in a beautiful cage made of gold and expectations. An urgent order for the royal household brought Julian to the grand palace gates for the very first time. Holding the heavy package tightly against his chest, the young tailor marveled at the towering stone structures. He did not know that a simple delivery would change the course of his ordinary life forever. Seeking an escape from his royal lessons, Prince Arthur slipped into the quiet side courtyard. He longed to feel the cool autumn breeze without a dozen guards watching his every move. For a brief moment, breathing in the scent of damp stone and falling leaves, Arthur felt a tiny spark of true freedom. Julian took a wrong turn down the massive stone corridors and ended up in the very same courtyard. He looked around in confusion, his heart pounding against his ribs. The grandeur of the palace suddenly felt overwhelming, and he gripped the delivery package tightly, wishing he was back in his cozy shop. The two young men bumped into each other around a sharp stone corner. Julian stumbled back, instantly dropping to one knee in panic when he recognized the silver signet ring on the prince's hand. But Arthur did not look angry. Instead, a look of genuine curiosity and surprise washed over the young royal's face. Arthur gently told Julian to stand up, smiling to ease the young tailor's fear. Instead of sending him away, the prince asked about the life outside the high stone walls. As Julian spoke about the bustling markets and the smell of fresh fabric, Arthur listened with hungry curiosity, realizing how much he missed the real world. Returning to the workshop, Julian could not stop thinking about the lonely prince. He realized that despite the grand gold and silver, Arthur was just a boy his own age who felt trapped. Julian looked at his humble tools and felt a new sense of purpose, determined to help his secret new friend. Inside the palace, Lord Reginald strictly reminded Arthur of his upcoming royal presentation. The heavy, dark velvet clothes felt like lead on Arthur's shoulders. He looked out the window toward the village, remembering Julian's simple life, and made a bold plan to experience that freedom for just one day. Under the cover of night, Prince Arthur executed his daring escape. He had secretly traded his royal garments for a commoner's cloak, determined to see the world through ordinary eyes. As his boots touched the muddy path outside the castle gates, his heart raced with a thrilling mix of fear and absolute freedom. The next morning, the village market was alive with color and noise. Julian walked through the crowds, enjoying the comforting smell of cinnamon and baked goods. He loved his community, but he couldn't shake the feeling that a great storm was brewing between the high castle walls and the humble streets below. Julian pulled Arthur into the shadow of a vegetable stall before anyone could notice the prince's striking face.
The market is quiet this morning.
Arthur laughed, showing Julian the simple joy of buying a piece of fruit with a copper coin. For the first time in their lives, the boundaries of class completely vanished, replaced by a deep, unspoken bond. In the quiet sanctuary of an old watchtower, the two friends shared their deepest secrets. Arthur confessed his fear of ruling, while Julian admitted his struggle to keep the shop alive. To show his support, Julian pulled out a rare thread that glowed faintly under the shadows, carefully mending the prince's torn cloak with practiced, gentle hands. The peaceful afternoon shattered when Lord Reginald and the royal guards marched into the market square. The advisor's face was twisted with anger as he announced that the prince had been kidnapped. Panic spread through the crowd like wildfire, and Julian knew that their beautiful day of freedom had suddenly turned into a dangerous trap. From the high window of the tower, Arthur saw the terror in his people's eyes. He realized that running away from his responsibilities had only brought trouble to the innocent villagers. Looking at Julian, Arthur knew he had to stop hiding. He squeezed his friend's shoulder, ready to face his destiny, not as a prisoner, but as a leader. Arthur stepped directly into the path of the royal guards, casting off his hood. The crowded market square fell completely silent as the villagers recognized their prince standing side by side with a humble tailor. Instead of hiding, Arthur stood tall, ready to defend the people who had shown him the true meaning of a community. Lord Reginald demanded that the guards arrest Julian for treason, but Arthur instantly blocked their path. The young prince spoke with a new, powerful voice, declaring that he was never kidnapped. He praised the kindness of the villagers and made it clear that a true ruler protects his people instead of ruling them with fear. Weeks later, the heavy iron gates of the palace were thrown wide open for the very first time in history. Prince Arthur, now trusted with more responsibility, invited the entire village to celebrate a new era of unity. The division between the rich upper castle and the poor lower town began to melt away under the warm evening sun. Julian's small workshop transformed into a place where anyone could learn the craft of weaving. No longer hiding in the shadows of the wealthy, the young tailor proudly shared his skills with children from both the village and the palace. He realized that true wealth was not found in gold, but in the community he helped build. Standing together on the highest hill, the prince and the tailor looked out at a kingdom that was finally at peace. The walls that once divided them were replaced by bridges of friendship and understanding. Two different worlds had come together, proving that a simple thread of kindness could bind a whole kingdom as one.